Hello, this is Dave Stevens, a Senior Technical Marketing Manager at DataGravity. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through on how to bring your first virtual machine into management in the DataGravity for Virtualization product. DataGravity is distributed as an OVA and easily deployed as a virtual appliance running on top of VMware ESXi version 5.5 or newer. Start by deploying an OVF template, select the OVA, and give the virtual appliance a name. Choose the ESX cluster, a data store to store the appliance, and then the proper virtual network. Finally, select the option to power on the virtual appliance and click Finish. To begin the virtual appliance setup, open the console. Log into the appliance as admin with a default password of lowercase dg, and then enter a hostname for the appliance. Change the default password to something more secure, making sure to pay attention to the password complexity rules. Enter the IP address for managing the appliance, enter the proper net mask or subnet mask, and the default gateway for the management IP address. Enter a DNS server IP address and the fully qualified domain name for the appliance. Since we don't have a need for an additional network interface, just press Enter. Then confirm your settings and press Enter again. After several minutes, the first phase of setup is complete. You will be informed to open your web browser to go to the management IP address to complete the setup process. Open a web browser and enter the IP address. Once the login window appears, type in admin for the username and the password you set during the previous phase and click Login. Click Setup Now, review the DataGravity End User License Agreement, click to accept the agreement and click Accept. Type in the activation key received and click Activate. After clicking the Continue with Setup button, you have the opportunity to enter additional DNS servers. Go ahead and enter them in now if you have any, and click Continue. Next, click on the map to select your time zone, or pick from the time zone drop-down list. Enter in your NTP servers and click Continue. Enter the name of the Active Directory domain you will be joining the appliance to. Verify the NetBIOS name is correct and click Continue. In this dialog, enter a username that has the ability to add a computer to the domain. Type in the password, then click Continue. Once the appliance has been added to Active Directory, you have the option to configure the appliance to send email for content notifications and alerts. Turn on Email and enter the SMTP server name or IP address. Enter a sender email address, then click Continue. The last step in the setup process is to add a virtualization manager. Click the plus sign, enter the name of the VMware Virtual Center server, and the correct username and password. After clicking the Apply button, click Continue. This completes the virtual appliance setup. Click the Add Storage Provider Now button. Enter in the name or IP address of your VM backup server and the proper credentials for connecting to it. After clicking the Add to Inventory button, DataGravity communicates with the VM backup server to discover all of the VMs that have been backed up. Once this finishes, click Continue. Select from the list of possible VMs to analyze and click Continue. Click Continue at the Insight Profile step. At this step of the process, it's possible to choose a point in time to begin analysis of your VM backups. To change the default policy, select the VM and click the pencil button. Select Most Recent to analyze the most recent backup, All to analyze all backups, or Custom to pick a specific date and time from which to start analyzing. Once you have set the backup discovery policy for all VMs, click Continue. The last step in the process is to install the DataGravity Discovery tools. The tools are used to enhance intelligence gathering for information such as user activity and user auditing, a full catalog of all files in NTFS file systems, as well as being able to report all changes made to these files. For example, when they were created, modified, or deleted. However, this is only possible if there is a running VM in Virtual Center that is the parent of the files being backed up. If this is not possible in your environment, you may skip this step. To install the Discovery tools, simply click on the Install Now link. Next, Enter the local administrator or domain administrator username and password to log on to the VM. Once successfully installed, the version of the Discovery tools is displayed. When finished, click the Continue button. Once the backup provider and VMs have been added to inventory, you are taken to the Backup Provider view. This view contains all of the VMs that have been added to inventory, as well as the intelligence tags that have been found across all of the VMs. At this stage, there are no tags because DataGravity hasn't finished analyzing any of the recovery points. By clicking on the VM name, you are taken to the VM view. Once at least one recovery point has been analyzed, you will be able to see all of the tags which have been found inside the VM backups, who are the most active users, and how file categories such as documents, music, and video files are changing over time. The Discovery Point tile is where you associate analyzed VM recovery points with DataGravity discovery points. You can think of discovery points as VM recovery points on steroids. Discovery points point to the files inside the recovery point. Plus, they contain a complete metadata profile about each of the files, including who accessed them, when they accessed them, and a path to each of them, and what type of sensitive data is contained in each of the files. This video quickly showed you how to bring your first VM into management and where you go to gain insights into your VM backups.